Hello, I'm Michael for GameWatcher.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at City Skylines Natural Disasters, which is the new DLC from Colossal Order and Paradox Interactive. We're going to showcase some of the disasters in the new DLC that can occur on players' cities. The natural disasters themselves look very impressive in the game, and not only are the disasters been implemented, but you also have a new emergency response panel, including buildings such as radio towers and emergency shelters to deal with any disasters that can occur. First up, we're going to take a look at the tornado. Now, the tornado looks impressive visually in the game, picking up cars and building parts as it grows through your city. The worst part about tornadoes in the game currently is the fact that they are the most dangerous thing early game, depending on what map you're on. Things like tsunamis or sinkholes aren't really a big problem early game, especially if you are far away from the shoreline. However, tornadoes can strike anywhere at any time, so you need to be on a lookout, and they can cause some mass devastation. Take a look. Next up is the Meteor Strike. Now, the Meteor Strike itself isn't particularly long compared to that of something like the tornado, which can last for quite a while. However, the Meteor Strike, depending on where it lands, can cause not only initial impact destruction, but also will set nearby buildings on fire, which can spread if not dealt with quickly. Take a look.
A meteor strike has occurred. Avoid the impact site and head to shelter if any is available.
Next up is a sinkhole. Now, a sinkhole occurs when there's been movement underground, which causes whatever's on top to fall through the earth. This can be particularly problematic if it is near a water source or under a particularly valuable building. Have a look here.
A sinkhole has occurred somewhere in the city. Stay out of harm's way and contact authorities with any information.
One of the most destructive natural disasters in the new DLC is the earthquake. Now, the earthquake not only flattens buildings with its initial shock, but it can terraform the terrain around it, which can be very problematic, as you're about to see here, when it is directly connected to a river, which can lead to mass flooding. Have a look at the destruction.
Don't panic and wait for help if you are in the affected area.
Next up is a disaster that is particularly fatal for coastal towns and cities, which is of course a tsunami. Tsunamis in the game are not only visually impressive, but I would argue that they are one of the most wide-range destructive disasters in the game, especially if the map you are playing on has a particularly large sea coastal line. Then you're going to run into real problems with flooding and destruction.
The Coast Guard is warning of a tsunami approaching the area. Residents should avoid roads and waterfronts. A tsunami has struck the city. Take caution and avoid roads and waterfronts until the water recedes.
Last but by no means least, after I caused a meteor strike on this small village that I created, I'm going to show you the electric thunderstorm. Now the thunderstorm can cause mass fires by hitting certain buildings, which the fires then, if not dealt with effectively, can spread, and there is also increased risk of flooding, so be sure to be prepared for any eventuality.
Stay indoors until the storm has passed. A tornado has touched down in the area. Seek shelter immediately if any is available.
And those are the main natural disasters in the new DLC. All of them no doubt look fantastic. The greatest thing about them is that they add a new gameplay element. Not only have you received additional buildings like disaster response teams, emergency broadcast systems and emergency shelters to keep civilians safe, but you also have to be aware of how expensive disasters can be and make sure that you rebuild and restore basic services to the population before they decide to abandon the town. And that's all for us this time. Thanks for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it and we'll see you next time.